Hopefully I'm in frame. Hello friends, I'm Tiffany and welcome to Unsociably High. Friends have been asking what we've been up to, and I haven't really been vlogging or anything because I've been trying to just kind of soak it all in, you know what I mean? But I have been writing in my journal, so I'm able to kind of formulate a story. So I'm basically going to be talking to you today about our travels from Ottawa to Winnipeg, and then the rest will come in the next parts. Brendan and I in 2018 decided to move to Australia for a year, got our working holiday visas, go to Australia, live there and work for a year in the year 2020. Here we are. When Brendan brought this up, I was like spiders.
Can you come in and kill a spider?
Kill a spider? Where is the spider? I cannot go up there to kill a spider.
It's
Where?
right there. Please.
That little thing on there.
Can't.
But then I came around, and the plan was to start in Ontario and make our way to BC, travel down the coast to LA, fly out of LA to Melbourne, Australia. Super excited. And after a lot of anxiety and thinking it over, it became not only something that I wanted to do, but something that I had to do. For those of you who don't know, hi, my name is Tiffany. I'm afraid of everything: heights, throw up, spiders, driving. I'm basically useless in this world. Cheers. We did prepare very hard for this. You know, I went to therapy, I meditated, we got a storage locker. I cried all the time and we both felt really unfamiliar and unpleasant feelings. And we prepared for the worst, but we did not prepare for the plague. We started our adventure on the highway. First stop was to visit Brendan's mom at the cemetery, and she was actually a really driving force for this trip because she unfortunately passed away. But it's like, we're gonna go and do scary things now. You only YOLO once, am I right? We drove 8 hours to Sault Ste. Marie to our Airbnb. That was our first stop. And we went to this restaurant called Fanny's. We laughed until the sun came down, having a wonderful, magical time. Something that he said was, we get to do this for the next 2 months. Ow. 1 second, my laptop is at 5%. I'm wide-eyed, but I'm not bushy-tailed. The snow was falling. We made it back to our Airbnb. The next morning, our Airbnb host made us these vegan blueberry muffins, and I think we cried like a little bit. And then we opened the door, and it was just stillness, and it was so serene and just nice. And I felt very Our next Airbnb was in Thunder Bay. And that was, again, 8 hours from Sault Ste. Marie to Thunder Bay. And we actually saw Lake Superior, which was like hella tight. I only heard people talking about Lake Superior, so it was really cool. We actually got out of the car and like experienced it, and it was really cold. It's so weird having these different feelings of traveling, you know. I just feel like I'm on the map now. It's interesting. Go back in the car, drive a bit. A bird actually flew into our window. We did not hit the bird. We ate some raw vegetables and listened to music. We stopped at A&W, got a burger and a fry. I sang in the car, and then there were these like hills and like spinnies, and I was not feeling well. Driving out of Ontario is like being on like a Hot Wheels multi-level thing. I had a gravel, and can I just take a moment to pay my respects to thank gravel. Big Pharma can suck my but big It's great, like it's great. So we got to Thunder Bay, nothing really special. The water was very nice. We had a funeral home across the street. It was really welcoming. The dead were like, welcome to Thunder Bay. Then we went to the grocery store and got some stuff to make chicken noodle rice, which is a video coming up, so don't miss it. We were very tired and hungry, so if we look a little agitated at all, that's why. Next day, drive to Winnipeg was another 8 hours, and at this point I was getting frustrated. Having to drive for 8 hours, 3 days in a row, it's a lot, it's a lot. It's really fun, but it's a lot. And you're tired from like nothing. And during the car rides, we were, getting out, stretching our legs. We did bring our skates as well, so if we found a skating rink, we could skate. We actually ran into a snowstorm. Most of the drive was pretty quiet because we were both just exhausted and craved settlement. As soon as you get to Manitoba, the land is just flat. Ontario is crazy. There's just like nothingness on either side of you. It's pretty ridiculous. When we got to Manitoba, we realized that the time changed and we went back in time, and going back in time is the coolest thing ever that this planet has to offer. So since we were a bit early, we somehow stumbled across this thing called Forks Market, and they have like a skating rink, but it's like trails of skating rink, and they have these little warming huts on the ice and it's just so fun. And we brought our skates and it was like perfect and amazing. We have no footage from it because our phones died. I know, everybody, I know. And I feel like I was getting stares because maybe they haven't seen a lot of Black people skating. That's just me though. It might be people like just looking at people kind of thing. This one time in middle school that I was on the bus and staring into the driver's rearview mirror and looking at popular older kids. And then they stared back into the mirror at me. So about an hour later, we got to our Airbnb, and it was very vintage-esque, and the pictures that they displayed on Airbnb were definitely a lot better and like updated kind of thing. Like it looked really nice, and like when we got there, it was just kind of like, oh, this is like super old, but it's fine. Like it's not a big deal. Obviously, it was a roof over our heads, and we were very grateful for that. I'm just trying to give descriptions. I'm not trying to be like, oh my god, like our Airbnb was like gross, because it wasn't. The stove, only one burner was working or something, so just that. Other than that, it was great. Before we left Ottawa, we ended up booking a show in Winnipeg for this band called 19, and it was their album release party. So we get to the venue. It's called Le Garage, and it's a beautiful venue. The stage sound was like so good. We met some awesome people there. One of them was named Nicholas, and we checked him out as he was walking by us. He had this beautiful vintage jacket on, and we were just like, damn. He came up to our merch table and he was like, you guys are like so great and stuff like that. And we had this wonderful conversation about music, and it was very nice. He was very nice. We did compliment his jacket, and he's great. And then there was this other person, Veronica, who was also very nice. She was working at the door with another person named Kim. And Kim looked at my face and she said,
darling, your face is so bold and so beautiful. I want to paint it. Come to my house tomorrow.
We were like, of course, Kim, we don't have any plans. We'll be there. It's like my dream come true. Someone just looked at my face and said,
you're a work of art. Let me put art on it. You beautiful beast.
Shh. Next day around 11, we went to Kim's. She pinned my face. I did some like kind of amateur modeling, which was kind of uncomfortable and just like kind of out of my comfort zone, you know, but it was still really fun and really cool, and the design that she made was just so like underwater 80s, and I was living for it. She gave us banana bread to take home, and she was so lovely. It did take me like days to get the sparkles out of my hair and also my face, but it was worth it for sure. So we went to this event called the Exchange District, and it's kind of in downtown Winnipeg, and it's just various kind of buildings promoting different forms of art. It happens the first Friday of every month, which is so great. Like, not trying to flex at all, but there was a person who was hungry, and Brendan decided to get him a hot dog, so we went to this place called Vicky's, which was, again, just everything is just so nice in Winnipeg, and I love it there. Hot dog was great, just seasoned, a seasoned hot dog. Here I am thinking Costco hot dogs are the best, and we went to, oh my god, what is it called when you do the little dishes? I wanted to say toppers, but that's not it. Small plates. Tapas, which are just like small shareable dishes that you get. Instead of just like one big meal, you get like little dishes, and it's great. Like, it's the best. We went to this hip record store, which was also part of the Exchange District. And there was this band playing there, and they were kind of punk. I think their name was Cheap Heat, and they were very good. I wanted to stay, but we had a lot more stuff to see. So then we searched for more art, went into more buildings. We met this person who was working for the Exchange District. She was giving me kind of like Velma from Scooby-Doo vibes, you know what I'm saying? She had this scar on her eyebrow, and she was like,
I got it from my cat.
It's looking fly as hell. The next exhibit was kind of a scavenger hunt to find the art, kind of like there's a list of the names of the art, and then you go in the room and you try and guess what art pieces correspond with the titles on the paper. Really cool concept, awesome, and I wish we got there sooner. There was this one sculpture, and it was like a veiny, like distorted, multiple boob chest, like on a pedestal kind of thing, and it was great. And then we went to an etching artist's studio, which was aesthetically right up my alley. Great display of just his work and how he functions. Then we went upstairs and saw these incredible, beautiful, amazing pieces of artwork. The artist just so happens to have autism, and it's kind of like a representation of how he sees the world. We were so stimulated after it, we had to just leave. Like, we were like, we can't see anything else after that. Like, it was great. Yeah, so the next day we prepared our own food, which my body desperately craved. I put my foot down that day and I was like,
I don't want any salty starch food anymore, please.
So the next day we went back to Forks Market, and we went on the inside of it, and it was basically like this huge looking mall, and it was filled with like little, I think, local shops and little restaurants, and it was really cool because it was kind of like a mall setup, but it was a place where you could just like openly drink. So we got some beers, we had a flight. It was just a very interesting concept that I had never seen before. After that, we went to the Human Rights Museum, and the Human Rights Museum is actually on the new Canadian $10 bill. There's so much that has gone down and that is continuing to go down. I really enjoyed the Human Rights Museum because they called Canada out on so much that I was not really aware of. Yeah, so on one of the museum displays, there was like a sign that said colored people in rear, and it really, you know what I'm saying? That's all I have for right now. Thanks so much for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to. There's no pressure. Just the buttons are there, so if you want to. We are also on Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp, and we now have our very own website, which is super exciting. So make sure you look at those in the description. Miss you and love you all. Thank you.